The life of someone fighting a serious disease is never easy, and when there is no cure, life can feel like a death march. But our next guest decided not to let his illnesses get in the way. Vaughn Ripley is the author of Survivor, One Man's Battle with HIV, Hemophilia, and Hepatitis C, and he's here with us today. Good to have you here, Vaughn.
Good morning, Melanie.
So it sounds like you have been through the ringer in your short life. Wow, you've battled illness. Let's go back 25 years ago, when you were a teenager battling hemophilia.
Basically, as most people know by now, hemophiliacs back in the 80s got blood transfusions that had bad batches of blood, and there was a lot of viruses and things in there. So my family doctor called me and my parents in and told us that I was HIV positive and said that I had 2 years to live. And I guess I sort of fell into a whirlwind and kind of went off the edge because I was just a teenager, and being told that my life was going to end that quick, it made it really tough for me.
What year in high school were you in? Were you still in high school?
I had just gotten out of high school, so it was '86 going into '87, and
the world was opening up for you at that point. You know, looking ahead to your life.
It definitely was. I mean, I was just starting college, and it was a complete life changer.
Yeah.
It made everything in my life sort of flip upside down.
Well, I think people could certainly understand how this could, throw you into a tailspin, not knowing how to accept that news. If somebody tells you got 2 years to live.
Yeah, and I mean, I did a lot of different things. I tried to cope with it in a lot of different ways, and a lot of that stuff was not as good as I should have been doing, and obviously beat me up physically. But I came out of it after living, past the 2 years that the doctor suggested that I would make it. I realized maybe the doctor was wrong, and I just kept pressing forward and kept a positive attitude, and I've made it this far.
So there were some dark times. You turned to drugs and alcohol for a while, right?
I did. Yeah, it was basically alcohol was an easy way to get away from all of the pain associated with knowing that I was dying within 2 years, and so I did that, and then also the drugs. It was a very tough time for me. I can
imagine. So how did you start to turn the corner and get on the healthy track?
I'd like to say that it was all me, but really it was my girlfriend at the time, who's my wife, and she just empowered me. She gave me a lot of strength and helped me through my struggles, and really helped me to just get over all of the pain and anxiety that I was going through. So
the good news is you've beaten hemophilia, haven't you?
Well, hemophilia is something that I'll deal with for my life. But they do have medicine that's available that helps me to stop the bleeding and everything, and also I have beaten hepatitis C, which is one of the things that I got from blood transfusions after being on some test drugs for a year. And the HIV, I consider it beaten. It's undetectable, and I'm as healthy as a horse.
Nowadays, it's not the death sentence that it was back in the 80s, and
yeah,
people
definitely.
like you are living with HIV, but you're making some positive, healthful changes in order to be able to live with HIV. Tell us what you've been doing.
I think it's a combination of things. I mean, basically, I was told by doctors that you needed to take medicines and that's the only way that you'd live, and so I believed that for a while. And then I was told by fitness freaks that, if you weightlift and if you eat nutritiously and stuff like that, that's the only way that you'll actually make it through this. And my religious friend said, if you pray to God, that's what'll do it. And I found that it's a combination of all of the things. Daily meditation, always taking my medicine, never missing it, staying fit on a daily basis, and eating nutritiously. And then on top of that, having positive friends and family around you to keep you really positive about the things, in your life.
Tell us what a typical day would be in your life as far as your health and eating routine.
Well, I eat about 7 meals a day, and I usually get about 4,000 calories a day. And
that sounds like a lot, but you just burn it up, huh?
Yeah, I do burn it up. I mean, I do 3 hours a week running, 3 hours a week biking, 3 hours a week swimming, and a couple hours of weightlifting. So I do get a chance to burn that nutrition up.
Wow, wow. And you are such an athlete. I mean, you are a personal trainer, right?
Yeah.
You participated in a marathon, too?
Yeah, I did the New Orleans Marathon and raised money for AIDS awareness.
So you ran 26 miles?
26.2 miles, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
It was kind of crazy, but actually I have plans to do the Ironman in Kona, Hawaii, so that'll end on a marathon. It's probably going to be about 12 hours of swimming, biking, and running, so it'll make the marathon seem small.
Really an inspiration, yeah. And you also, you have so many interests. I mean, you race motorcycles too?
I gave up on that. Once we had our daughter, I realized as a hemophiliac it wasn't smart to be out on the track and have a daughter. I want to be able to walk her down the aisle, not roll down the aisle with her. And so now I'm more of a cruiser kind of guy, and I relax on my Harley.
Wow, that's relaxing for you. Something active. Do you think that because you you fought these illnesses all your life, that it sort of made you more of a health nut? You know,
I think there's no doubt about it. I mean, I think there's a lot of things that work into that equation, but basically being a hemophiliac and told from a young age that I can't participate in anything. You know, you can swim or you can bowl. I think that alone sort of made me more into, you know, wanting to prove people wrong and showing that I could do the things that, you know, normal people do. And knowing that I was dying, I mean, that made me jump into fitness, and knowing that that was a big part of keeping me around. So I think that helped a lot.
You sound like a guy that's very thankful to be here and appreciative. And in your book, Survivor, what's the message that you want readers to take home?
Well, one thing is, I think people they don't realize how many HIV positive people there are, or how many people have died from AIDS in the world. And I'd love to convey that message, but also, you know, just the fact that 1 in 100 people is HIV positive, which really means that all of us, every man and woman in the world, basically, according to statistics, know somebody who's HIV positive. And I don't know that everybody's aware of that. And I also don't know that they understand how it affects everyday normal people like me. You know, and so I just love to have that awareness out there and have people be a little bit more understanding of it. And that's the basic principle behind it, but also just helping all of those people that are out there that aren't as fortunate as me and aren't making, you know, as many headways with the disease as me.
Well, Vaughn Ripley, thanks for sharing your story. It certainly is quite a story. And if you want to read all about it, it's called Survivor, One Man's Battle with HIV, Hemophilia, and Hepatitis C. Thanks so much, Vaughn, for coming in today. Appreciate it, and best of luck as you continue your health routine and your battles, too.